This is the Subaru Forester 2.5i-S in all of its muscular glory. It's the second Forester that I've been in lately, and after a week of driving it with my family of 3, it continues to be a solid performer. But it has some strong competition in the medium SUV market, like the Nissan X-Trail, the Skoda Karoq, and the ever-popular Toyota RAV4. So what does this bring to the table? Stay watching to find out. Excluding the hybrid models, there are 7 models in the Forester lineup, and this one sits second from the top and will cost you around $46,000 before on-road costs. With a price tag like that, it slides in just under the X-Trail, but is more affordable than the equivalent rivals, the Karoq and the RAV4. They all share similar specifications, so you feel like you're getting a lot of bang for your buck here. Some of the features that come standard in this model are heated front seats, a sunroof, leather accented trims, and a full-size spare wheel. The full specs are in my written review at carsguide.com.au if you want more info. The 2023 model doesn't get a facelift. It's still decidedly curvy with all of its chunky body paneling, but the LEDs at the front do give it some sharp styling. The interior carries through that muscular vibe with the chunky cutaways and ledges in the dashboard and the door paneling. There's also quite an old school vibe in here with a traditional gear shifter, a CD player, and the smaller 8-inch touchscreen multimedia system. It's not going to land with everyone, especially not those who are looking for a sleek or futuristic styling, but I actually quite like it, and I can see my dad driving this. One of the Forester's winning features for me is how delightfully spacious it is in both rows. I have plenty of head and legroom despite there being a sunroof, so taller passengers will certainly enjoy it, which isn't always something you can say about SUVs in this class. The leather accented seats are well padded and both are electric, although the passenger side does miss out on having additional lumbar support. Still, you will be very comfortable on a longer journey in these. The individual storage options are really good up front. You've got a deep metal console and a glove box, plus the usual cup holders and drink holders. However, the utility tray up the front doesn't quite fit my iPhone, which is a little bit annoying because it does only come with wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. All of the controls and dials are within easy reach for the driver. And while the multimedia system is on the smaller side, the graphics are really clear. Plus, as an added bonus, it has built-in sat-nav, which was easy to use. It was a little bit confusing jumping between these 3 screens, and I found that I didn't focus too much on the information panel on the dash. I think it would have been better to incorporate it into a larger information panel here. I'm in the back seat and it's almost as comfortable as the front. I have plenty of room, like I said, but I also really like the individual storage options back here. It's pretty good for a car of this size with map pockets plus device pockets on the backs of each seat. The amenities are a little bit bare back here, but I do like that it has directional air vents and those 2 charging ports. What I really liked though, and what my 6-year-old really liked, was how easy it is to get in and out of this because of the 220mm ground clearance. Plus, I love how the door apertures open to almost 90 degrees because it means that it's easy to get like a monster booster seat like mine in through the doors. Although my 6-year-old did struggle a little bit to open the doors, he found them a little bit heavy. There are ISOFIX child seat mounts on the outboard seats plus 3 top tethers, and you might get lucky and fit 3 skinny child seats side by side. There's also plenty of room for front passengers when a 0 to 4 rearward facing child seat is installed too. I really like how wide and tall the aperture is for the boot, but I was surprised that it only has 498 litres of capacity available because it looks a lot bigger than it is. The level load space is great, but you can't readjust the floor because it has a full-size spare wheel under there, but it has been very handy having a power tailgate this week. This model has a 2.5-litre 4-cylinder boxer petrol engine with a maximum output of 136 kilowatts and 239 newton meters worth of torque. It's not the most powerful engine, but there was plenty here for what I needed of it this week. It is an all-wheel drive and has a continuously variable transmission, but that did make it feel a bit more clumsy at lower speeds. I've mostly enjoyed driving this around town, but it definitely performs a lot steadier on the open road. And I didn't even have to get that aggressive with the accelerator when I was tackling hills either, which was really good. The steering is responsive enough that you can handle winding roads, but it is on the looser side of firm. I do really love the suspension though. It feels well cushioned, but not at all floaty. The cabin can get loud at higher speeds, but is otherwise quite pleasant to be in. I've really enjoyed the high driving position of this and just how good the visibility is outside of the wide windows. It's a really good feature to have in an SUV. I was impressed by the fuel economy this week. The official combined fuel cycle is 7.4 litres per 100 kilometres, and I achieved 6.9 litres. Now, having said that, I did do a lot of open road driving, so I would expect that figure to be higher in the city, but that's pretty good for an SUV of this size. And based off the official combined fuel cycle and the 63 litre fuel tank, you should be able to achieve a driving range of roughly 850 kilometres, which is very good for families who do road trips. Despite the size of this car, it has an excellent turning circle of 10.8 metres, so it's really easy to manoeuvre in a tight car park. And the reversing camera is super clear, and I really liked how you have an extra side camera that helps you line up your wheels against the parking lines. The safety features on the Forester are pretty robust, and I really like the driver fatigue monitor because it has facial recognition technology and will actually watch you for signs of inattention. I did test it a lot this week and found it to be fairly responsive. Now, this was awarded a maximum 5-star ANCAP safety rating, but it was done a while ago in 2019. There are 7 airbags, but it is missing the newer front center airbags that we're starting to see on cars nowadays. The full safety specs are in my detailed written review at carsguide.com.au if you want more info. The ongoing ownership costs are very reasonable on this, and it comes with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. You can also pre-purchase a 3 or 5 year cap price servicing plan, and it's much cheaper than the pay-as-you-go option. On the 5-year plan, services average just $535, which is competitive for the class, and servicing intervals are also reasonable at every 12 months or 12,500 kilometres, whichever occurs first. The Subaru Forester 2.5i-S has continued to impress me this week. It's a very practical family car with its features and use of space, and I love its price point. Some of the old school aspects aren't going to land with everyone, and I would have preferred a more powerful engine, but this easily gets an 8 out of 10 from me. My son really liked his high seating position and the wide windows with his view. He gives it a 7 out of 10. If you're after more details, check out the full review at carsguide.com.au, and I'll see you next week.